What up, mother chuggers? So, today I was originally going to review another pedal by Strike. And I'll tell you guys what it was. It was going to be the Strike compressor pedal. Um, mm, I ended up using it at rehearsal yesterday with the full crew. And it wasn't terrible, but I felt like because there were some missing controls that I thought would have made it more useful, more variable. Um, I just decided that it was not going to be something that I was going to recommend or even bother making a video on. So today, instead of doing that, what I wanted to do was I wanted to compare the Strike Zeal Blast boost pedal that I did a video on and basically compare that to the Joyo Vintage overdrive pedal that I've been using in my signal chain for the last, I don't know, last 2 years, give or take, on and off. And more specifically, I wanted to compare how using the Vintage overdrive as a boost and compare that to using the Strike boost pedal as a boost. So to see, is there really that big of a difference? Does it make that big of a tonal quality difference? I'm going to get right into it. I already have levels set for volume, and I think today I'm going to be rocking out with the Red Dawn. I think I'm just going to leave it on one setting as far as the pickups go. I'm just going to use the standard modern voice 1. That way we don't get too much into confusion. Voice 2, I meant to say, not voice 1. The reason I'm using voice 2 is because it has a little more of a bassy, low mid quality to it. So I think that's where these pedals are really going to shine, is when I'm using the voice 2. I don't know why I said voice 1. Anyway, so it's going to be voice 2. I already have it set. Right now I'm on the clean channel. Let's see. This is voice 1. Let's go to voice 2. All right, so. No pedal. So what I just did, I'm going to engage the Joyo Vintage Overdrive, play that same little lick here. So it's kind of like what I said in my last video. An overdrive pedal, even when you have the drive all the way down, there's still that gain circuit in there that's naturally gonna make a clean tone break up a little bit. Some people like that, depending on what they're playing and how they're playing it, that could be a very useful thing. Even I've done it in the past. So same thing with the Strike pedal. Right now I have the level all the way up, which normally I don't do. And I tried to get these two very close. The Strike definitely has a little more of a high end to it. I mean, I have the high set at, 1 o'clock? Between 1 and 2, I'd say. So overall, right away, the Joyo, the overdrive pedal is naturally going to give you a little more of a breakup, no matter what. And just for clarification. Pretty chimey, even with the level all the way up. We're back to just the amp. Okay, so I have the level on the Strike all the way up. I'm gonna go back to 3 o'clock because that seems to be kind of the sweet spot for a boost, but not so much as a volume boost. Okay, so I'm gonna go to high gain here. Put a noise gate on. Not like it makes that big of a difference. I don't have a noise gate in the loop. Okay, so right away we'll pick a riff. I'm gonna play one of our faster riffs from one of Fuel Heavy songs. It's called Jumper, but I might just play it. I'm gonna play the verse, pre-chorus, chorus, just to kind of get a feel for it. This is with no pedals. This is just straight amp. All right, same thing, but with the overdrive, drive all the way down to 0, level all the way up. Tone is about 1 o'clock. Strike. Okay, so that was with level at about 3 o'clock. You can definitely hear the differences. There's no doubt there's a slight more bit of gain being added to the overall signal with the overdrive pedal. Um, so now just for reference here, I'm gonna go ahead and max out the level on the strike. I have the lows just below half. I have the highs just above half on the strike pedal. And that was the beauty of this is with voice number 2 with Fishman pickups, especially the both the open cores, the regular moderns and the classics, voice 2 on all of them has more low mids. But let's right. So okay, with it off. All right, back to no pedals. Okay, overdrive. Back to the strike. Okay, so what did we learn? What did we learn? Here's my thoughts overall. Is real quick before we end this is that how would you pick between the two, right? How would you pick between an overdrive pedal and a straight boost pedal? So here's the thing. Really, at the end of the day, it depends on your needs. But I can tell you this much is that if I wasn't using a high gain amp, right? And when I say high gain, I'm thinking, okay, Joyo Zombie, all right, EVH, PV, Friedman, Engel, right? If I wasn't using a true high gain amp, I would probably I would stick with a straight boost pedal, especially one like this that has control of highs and lows. It would also be nice if you can find, if you find one with high mids and lows, all three of the EQ settings, that's even better. But like I said, the strike is definitely a budget pedal. But comparing the two, if you're using a high gain amp, a true high gain amp, I think that's where a dedicated boost pedal really comes into play. Whether it's a boost for just overall signal boost or as a solo boost, whichever. Now, if you're not using a high gain amp and you want a bit of a boost that comes with having a little extra gain when you step on it, that's when our overdrive pedal really comes in handy. Whether it's a tube screamer overdrive or just a general overdrive pedal, I think that is where the overdrive kind of shines in that spectrum is just if you don't have a real high gain amp. You know, aside from that, there's really not much else to really tell you about it. For reference, on my pedal board, I have my tuner going into my noise gate, which is a Decimator 2 by ISP. So I have tuner, I have noise gate, basically cut down that initial feedback. From there, I have it go into the boost pedal. From there, I have my delay chorus pedal. And then from there, I have my wah. And then after that is usually whatever I feel like putting in. You know, I do have a second wah that was on my board. But, you know, from there, I just go straight into the amp. Typically, I know some guys will say you want your modulation effects in the effects loop. And most part, that is absolutely true, especially for when you're in recording, like in a studio. But, you know, for live purposes, it's very difficult to set up that way, especially if you're in a hurry trying to set it up. You have all these extra cables everywhere. Anyway, kind of off topic. But yeah, over the most part, you know, high gain amp, use a boost. Not as high gain amp. Think like Marshall, Blackstar, Fender, Bugera, God forbid. You know, along those lines where you're almost at high gain, but you're not quite there. Overdrive all day long, any day of the week. So anyway, I don't know. Hopefully I covered everything in that regard. And if you have any questions, comments, throw them out there. And we'll see you next time.